Obrafo, and I tell you that it really brings a lot of memories about how well he's done. And some of these latest songs also brings into sharp focus how he is just timely all the time. And Gifty, what a way.
Good morning, Roland. I hope that you slept well.
I did. And
I hope that all of you did. I tried as well. I think I did well. I thank God for your life, and I, pray that you have a very good day, amazing one, as that.
Please start the news.
I wish you the same.
Yeah.
I start with
today is the birthday of Famous Hijacks. They used to work.
Yes. Famous. Happy birthday to you, Famous. Yes, yeah. GIPC. We wish you a very good day. We wish you a very good day, and I pray that the rest of the days of your life will be amazing, bring you a lot of laughter. Definitely.
Okay, so we'll start the newspapers with the Daily Graphic.
Let me start with the Daily Graphic. The Daily Graphic comes with a picture of the Education Minister. It says, new date for exit examinations, WASSCE August 3, BEC September 14. And that story says it's done by Doreen Ando. It says the senior high schools will reopen to final year students on June 22 for them to undergo 6 weeks of academic work up to July 31 this year. This is to enable them prepare to write their final examinations between August 3 and September 4 this year. That's according to the Minister of Education. We want to take that story and take a look at it in the newspaper. It's on page 3. And then it comes with also a picture of the pilot process that started yesterday. It says EC ends pilot voter registration today. And then you see that picture right there, people having their temperatures checked and all of that. COVID-19 update, cases 8,297 as of yesterday, recovered 2,986, 38 people now have died. And flogging father pleads guilty. That story that Erastus Asari Donko brought you is on page 13. Poultry farmers welcome ADB intervention, pages 16 and 17. And a quick look at the back page. Forestry Commission task force impounds illegal lumber. That story is from Bia Mukusa Ali in Sunyai. It says the Sunyai Area Timber Industry Development Division of the Forestry Commission has, in collaboration with the National Forestry Commission Task Force, impounded 43 trucks loaded with illegal lumber in the Hafo region. And we understand that this is a big problem in this area. This illegal business is a big problem there. Grab yourself a copy or download the app and get those stories. Mass production of sanitizing tunnels begins in Tema. Okay, Tema is seeing a lot of developments lately. Finally, let me take a quick look at the center spread. Transparency, accountability will win public trust. That story is attributed to Graphic Managing Director, and he's saying that to the Ghana Football Association. It comes with a lot of pictures of Keto Kreku, the president of the GFA, who has been meeting with Mr. Ato Afo, the managing director of the Graphic Communications Group Limited, with other officials of the GFA and the Graphic Communication Groups Communication Limited. And poultry farmers welcome ADB intervention, and Statistical Service begins survey on impact of COVID-19. That's a story I'm very interested in. What do they find? What will they find, and how will it help our fight going forward? And that's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. Like I said, you can get yourself a copy, take a look at what it says. I follow that with the Daily Statesman. The Daily Statesman says, it has a picture again of the Education Minister. It says the Education Ministry to employ over 27,000 pre-tertiary teachers and others. It's on page 2. And EC's pilot voters registration takes off smoothly. NPP primaries for June 20. And this is your election headquarters. You want to look forward to our coverage of that particular election and how everything goes, everything related to it goes. NEC meets today to affirm steering committee decision. And that story is on page 2 of the Daily Statesman. It comes with a picture of John Boyd, the NPP's general secretary. Back page of our newspaper, football. Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager, has missed football so much. Okay.
We all have missed football.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, we all have missed football.
Some of us can live without it, though.
I know. It's a woman's thing.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Women don't like football.
Oh, we do. We do.
Okay.
Especially when our partners want it. We do. I had to manage 1 million at the age of 23. Azuma Nelson is saying that. what really is a story, grab yourself a copy of that newspaper, take a look at what it says. And the front, okay, I don't have anything to tell you on the center spread because it's full of adverts.
Okay.
Yeah, Roland?
All right, I'll do 2 and then you do the rest.
No problem.
I have the Daily Guide, has on the front page, Mona versus police. NDC hijacks bloodshed case, has an inserted picture, an attached picture of NDC Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Pram Sam George. Bernard Mona is in there. I also see the chair of the NDC and it's captioned NDC Gurus with Bernard Mona. Up there we do have pay and take your property, the Chief Justice to Woyome. This picture is already attached. And government completes 236 senior high school projects. And all these were parts of the briefing of the National COVID team. We brought that to you live as well, right here on JoyNews. EC conducts pilots registration exercise, and it's mixed reactions, and the number of concerns that have been raised, but also for and against that we're looking at as we sit with Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, who is Executive Director for the Institute for Democratic Governance, somebody who has monitored, also worked in our transparency and governance issues for a couple of decades right here in Ghana. Let's go to the back page. It's full of sports as always. ISA reality show picks 10. I have missed football. Again, that story being replicated on the back page of the Daily Guide. And Jürgen Klopp, the German former Dortmund coach, but now the Liverpool manager. And you do know, before the lockdown, before coronavirus became a thing for the world, his team had been leading by some 25 points the English Premiership. And well, a way for us to bring back football. We'll be staying glued to our televisions to be watching. Not Gifty and Apiado. She'll be watching some great live stream service of some church. That'll be great, as we're praying for Liverpool to win there. GFA chief Mark's birthday in style, we're told, presenting an item to a resident. So he was in his neighborhood presenting item. That was a good one. Humanitarian causes, something that we all do one time and time again. Let's look at the Custodian. The Custodian newspaper has on the front page, new voters register. Register or regret. Obiamwa cautions opponents. And he is a deputy minister for local government and rural development. He's an ardent watcher of this show. Good morning to you, Mr. Obiamwa, also member of parliament for Equipim South.
Yeah, greetings to you, Mr. Obiamwa, from me too.
Yeah, okay, great.
And from Mama View Uswaboji as well.
Yeah, Mama View Uswaboji. I didn't know you were very familiar with Obiamwa. Charlie.
Really?
Wouldn't name politicians.
I know Obiamwa from my Nooks days.
Fantastic. Mr. Obiamwa, we know you from the Nooks days. Government to fix infrastructural challenges in universities. A story also attributed to the president. All this coming from the president's last address from Sunday. Mahama to choose octogenarian running mate. He has an inserted picture of the former president running. No, that's a running mate. Presidential candidate of the NDC. I don't want to belittle his position at all. And it's on the front page of the Custodian. Now, let me do one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, great. The Daily Dispatch newspaper has on the front page, MPs with COVID-19, Parliament will not shut down, majority is saying, and the story is on the back page of the paper. Azuma Nelson also confirms how Kennedy Japan bought his first house in Ghana in 1988. If you read the story, talks about how Kennedy Japan at the time, I think somewhere in the 80s, late 80s, as the headline indicates, had saved some amount of thousands of dollars, wanted to help his parents right here in Ghana. Azuma Nelson had visited the state fort and was coming back, and he said, look, I can help you. So he bought a house that's Kennedy Japan now calls a boys' quarters somewhere in East Legon. Still, he calls it boys' quarters. And revamping Ghana's railway sector, ministry to order 35 trains this month. That's a good thing. Rail transport is something that's very much dominating in the West. Just don't know why it's not. Maybe now we'll see some great features. If you want to travel to Kumasi, at least you can use a rail instead of just going through the buses. Okay, Gifty, I'm done.
Let me go on with the Finder newspaper. The Finder newspaper also comes with the story that's been dominating, in fact, all the newspapers. The education minister with a plan for the sector. No visits, no religious activities when schools reopen. That's according to Dr. Matthew Puku Prempe, and it comes with this picture from yesterday's briefing. EC pilots new voters registration in all 16 regional capitals. That story is on page 4. An allowance, government announces 1,200 cedis for teachers and 600 cedis for non-teaching staff. Railways Ministry to order about 35 trains to Ghana in June, which is this month, by the way. The story is on page 8. Back page of the Finder newspaper, right, it's an advert. Let's take a look at what's on the center spread. Reversal of Bank of Ghana's stance on budget deficit financing part 3. Looks like a feature. And it comes with a picture of the former finance minister, Setekwe. He's the writer. Railway minister to order about 35 trains to Ghana in June. Let me just take a look at that story. It says the Minister for Railway Development, Joe Garte, has revealed that the ministry will be ordering over 30 standard gauge trains in June this year. According to him, the ministry has already gotten approval of about $130 million for trains, which will be purchased from a company in China. Okay, we're here. That story is there. Look out for the details. It comes with a picture of the minister, Joe Garte. ESLA cuts sought for construction of 30 community ICT centers. Comes with a picture of her, doing the sword cutting. And COVID-19, Newmont sets up 20 million fund to combat virus globally. Take a look at the Finder newspaper. Right. That is the Final newspaper. My final newspaper for today is the Ghanaian Times. Again, Education Minister there with that particular story. And the story is that SHS, JHS to write special exams, WAEC to conduct country-specific WASI and BCE. Also, use death of George Floyd as catalyst to effect changes. President urges the United States. The story is on page 13, Roland. I know you like the story. That's okay. And police CID grants Bernard Mona 20,000 inquiry bill. That story is also on page 12. It also has a story of EC begins pilot voter registration exercise. Looks like all the papers had their focus on 2 stories: education and the Electoral Commission's pilot process. And Kwabing Road construction 90% complete is on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and it comes with a picture of what has been captioned as the upgraded Enyinem Junction Kwabing Road. Then Bongo Balungu Bridge yet to be constructed 3 years after sword cutting. That's a story that a lot of people are quite familiar with. A story from Amatechua and Pedro Ajimai from Kwabing is that Enyinem Kwabing Road story. Get a copy of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Let's take a quick look at the center spread and what it says over there. Well, there's also a story before the center spread. It says Sylvia Ano is saying that divergent opinions by political parties at IPAC is not new. Okay, the center spread is where I'm going to right now. Oh, okay, it has a picture. It has actually the stories from the front pages. A story from the Education Ministry. Police CID grants Bernard Mona 20,000. Use the death of Floyd. All of that. They're all on the center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Roland, what more?
I wanted to pick an issue, particularly looking at the front page of the Custodian and the call by Obi Amwan, Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, that register or regret it. And we know that it's the second day or the last day of the pilot by the Electoral Commission. We know what the mixed reactions have been. We spoke to Dr. Paku, Electoral Services Director for the Electoral Commission. I am thinking that we need to put a certain focus to our minds as a country. And it's the stakeholders that need to do that. The critical ones are the Electoral Commission and the political parties. Because that is what is going to give a certain direction to the citizenry as to what to take and the actions they have to take. Now, we've gone through a pilot process the first day. There are mixed reactions. That's okay. There's no action or activity regarding elections since I began covering elections in 2000 that we've not had any consensus for and against. But we do know the position of the institution that is responsible for doing this is the Electoral Commission. The position is that they are going ahead. And I think that the political parties, particularly the NDC and the rest of the intergroups that are doing all this, need to position the mindset of the ordinary Ghanaian, that it is important that you participate in this, because that gives you a certain choice to make in December as to who we have to choose to become president or not, or an MP, etc.
So essentially, from what I get from what Roland is saying, right now, there is no choice. The choice is to register if you want to be a part of the process of choosing a president.
Exactly.
And that's, even though there are divergent views on all of these, it's really up to you. Do you want to decide to be a part of the process of choosing a president? If you do, then this is an opportunity for you to get involved, because if you don't do it now, there won't be any other opportunity.
Because the Electoral Commission, when we had the interaction,
they made up their mind.
They said they're targeting between 16 to 17 million Ghanaians. How do we get these millions of people to line up?
Do you think they won't? Do you get the feeling that people won't go and register? Because
we're divided, and we know that our country basically is MPP NDC.
Yeah.
And it's MPP NDC with the following of the other parties.
Exactly.
And because of the commentary and the concerns that either side has raised, whether for and against, I feel, based on my observation and talking to people, it's giving would-be voters a divided attention. And we don't need that divided attention going into a time when we have to encourage people to go and register.
For me, what I see is that if the politicians want to, politics, of course, is all about the numbers for these political parties. If they really want to, if they mean business, they will just need to focus on the floating voters, because at the moment, those who their traditional followers will be there for them anyway. So what I've seen is that opposition will always make noise. They will always make noise, raise concerns about the Electoral Commission's process, etc. But when it comes to getting the registration done, when it comes to getting their people to do what ought to be done, they will get their people to do it. What they have to focus on is the floating voters who will feel disenchanted and feel like, yeah, I mean, what's the point anyway? That's where their focus has to be, so that they can get the people. But yeah, it is your civil right, civil duty, I should say, to get involved in this process.
And we'll continue, bring you the latest when it comes to the second day of the exercise. We're going to Kumasi. We'll bring you what our reporters will be telling us by way of the scenes they are monitoring, but we have to look at myjoyonline.com, Gifty.
Let's pull it up. Okay, there it is. Take it down. Sarkodie slams Sami Jemfi over George Floyd voters register cartoon. I mean, what's Sarkodie's concern, really? Click on that story. Take a look at it. Click on it, share it, let your friends also read it. Take a look at it. Protect us as we return to classrooms. That's according to NAGRAT to government. NAT also said the same thing yesterday when they were here. 5 injured, 3 separate accident. COVID-19, 2 recovered. Siblings lead campaign. That story from Ohimin Teria. NPP leadership meets today to fix a date for parliamentary primaries. Look out for that story and more on election brief later this afternoon with Araba Kumsin. And all ICGC temples remain closed despite easing of restrictions. That's the statement that was brought by the ICGC yesterday. They are not going ahead to open their churches. In fact, like the Ghana Christian Council has said, if you feel genuinely that your church is not ready, do not be in a rush to open up. More of those stories there also on myjoyonline.com. Take a click, and share the link with your friends as well. BBC.com was it reporting. Africa Live, SA Court rules lockdown regulations are unconstitutional. And they have some very interesting laws, lockdown regulations, including the use of alcohol and all of that. A court has ruled that it is unconstitutional. Details, click on that story, take a look at it. Lift the ban, we want cigarette. Okay, if you're interested in that story, by all means, you know what to do. The atheist activists who get death threats. Nigerian reggae legend Majik Fashek dies at 57, and 6 elephants killed in poaching massacre. Another big problem there. 9-year-old Kenyan inventor given national award. Obviously, coronavirus is bringing out a lot of potential and putting the focus on a lot of people. I wanted revenge for my mom's death. Mona Lisa, who is a boxer, is that story, is the person that story is attributed to. And the United States is still on fire. Well, I should put it that way. A lot of protests going on, widespread U.S. protests, but violence falls, which is a good thing, by the way.
Well, that's why we have to take a break. And when we come back, we'll bring you the latest sports headlines right here in the studio.